Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm delighted to have you here today. My name is Dr. S.K. Singh, and I'll be guiding you through this presentation. Today, we'll be exploring the important topic of technology transfer for non-sterile products. Over the next few minutes, we'll cover key concepts, processes, and best practices to help you understand how technology transfer works in this area. So, let's get started and dive into this fascinating subject. Today, we'll focus on understanding the key requirements of technology transfer, or TT, which is essential across various dosage forms including oral solids, liquids, and semi-solids. Our goal is to align these processes with global regulatory expectations and to illustrate them with practical industry examples. So, what exactly is technology transfer? According to the World Health Organization, TT is a logical and systematic process used to transfer product, process, and knowledge from one site to another. This includes everything from the manufacturing process and analytical methods to documentation and expertise. Typically, this transfer occurs when moving from research and development to production, or between different manufacturing sites, or even from a company to a contract manufacturing organization, or CMO. Understanding these key components helps ensure that the transfer is smooth, compliant, and maintains product quality, an essential theme as we navigate the complexities of bringing a pharmaceutical product to market efficiently and safely. Let's take a closer look at the scope for non-sterile products. This applies to a variety of dosage forms such as OSD, which includes tablets and capsules, as well as oral liquids like syrups and suspensions. It also covers semi-solids, which are creams, ointments, and gels. The World Health Organization emphasizes that this scope is applicable to all these forms, especially when a risk-based approach is used to adapt the transfer process. Now, moving on to the key elements of technology transfer in this context. First, organization and project management are crucial to ensure everything runs smoothly and on schedule. Next, documentation transfer plays a vital role in maintaining consistency and compliance. Then, process and analytical transfer focus on ensuring that manufacturing and testing methods are effectively communicated and adopted at the new site. Additionally, equipment and facility assessment are necessary to verify that the new environment supports the product requirements. Finally, qualification and validation are essential steps to confirm that the transferred technology performs reliably and meets all quality standards. Altogether, these elements form a comprehensive framework that supports safe, effective, and consistent transfer of non-sterile products across different manufacturing sites. This ensures that regardless of the dosage form, quality and compliance are maintained throughout the transfer process. On Slide 4, let's take a closer look at the roles and responsibilities of the receiving unit, or RU, and the sending unit, or SU. The receiving unit is primarily responsible for executing key activities such as scale-up and validation, which are critical steps to ensure that the process can be reliably scaled from the lab to production. They also handle equipment qualification, making sure that all equipment used is properly validated and fit for purpose. Additionally, the RU manages routine production, ensuring that daily manufacturing runs are consistent and meet quality standards. Now, moving to the sending unit, their role is to provide essential information that guides the production process. This includes the master formula, which is the detailed recipe for the product, and process parameters that define how the process should be carried out. They also supply development data, which helps inform and optimize the process during scaling and validation. Connecting these points to the overall theme, clear communication and precise responsibilities between the sending and receiving units are vital for a successful transfer and consistent quality. Each unit has a distinct but interconnected role that ensures the entire process runs smoothly and efficiently. Let's take a closer look at the documentation requirements essential for a successful technology transfer. First, we have the Product Development Report, which provides the comprehensive background and development data for the product. Then, the Master Batch Record, or MBR, serves as the detailed blueprint for manufacturing, ensuring consistency and quality. Specifications and STPs, or standard testing procedures, define the product's quality parameters and testing methods. Process flow charts visually map out each step of the production process, helping us understand the workflow clearly. Stability data is critical to demonstrating that the product maintains its quality over time, while cleaning procedures ensure that equipment is properly sanitized to prevent contamination. All of these documents are vital because they facilitate complete knowledge transfer, which is the cornerstone of a smooth technology transfer. Moving on to the technology transfer process flow, it begins with project initiation, where objectives are set and teams are aligned. Next comes gap analysis, identifying any differences between the originating and receiving sites. Risk assessment then evaluates potential issues that could impact quality or timelines. The transfer plan outlines the strategy and milestones for the transfer process. Execution involves running batches to validate the process, followed by validation to confirm that the process consistently produces the desired quality. Finally, the report and closure document summarizes the process and officially concludes the transfer. Connecting these points back to the overall theme, thorough documentation and a structured transfer process are essential to ensure that knowledge is fully transferred, risks are minimized, and product quality is maintained throughout. Let's talk about liquids and some of the key factors that influence their behavior during manufacturing. First, mixing speed is crucial. Getting the right agitation ensures uniformity without causing issues like foaming or separation. Viscosity, on the other hand, affects how easily liquids flow and mix. If it's too thick or too thin, it can impact processing efficiency. pH control is also essential, especially for stability and compatibility with other formulation components. Additionally, microbial limits must be maintained to ensure safety and compliance with regulations. To illustrate these points, consider suspension settling. This often happens due to improper agitation during scale-up, which means if mixing isn't optimized, particles can settle out, leading to inconsistent dosing or appearance issues. So, maintaining proper mixing parameters is vital for product quality. Now, moving on to process transfer considerations, particularly for oral solid dosage forms, like tablets. Key parameters include granulation, where binder percentage and processing time influence the final granule properties. Compression force is equally important, as it directly affects tablet integrity and dissolution. The dissolution profile itself is a critical quality attribute, ensuring the drug releases properly in the body. A common example of a process transfer issue is tablet transfer failure, which can occur if different equipment, such as a blender, results in content uniformity problems. This highlights the importance of carefully managing scale-up and transfer steps to maintain product consistency throughout the manufacturing process. Now, let's delve into the analytical method transfer, or AMT. There are different types we use, including comparative testing and co-validation. These methods help us ensure that the analytical performance is consistent across different sites. The parameters we focus on are accuracy, precision, and specificity, key indicators that our methods are reliable. This process is crucial for maintaining consistent quality control results, especially when working with semi-solids. When dealing with these, we pay close attention to critical attributes like homogeneity rheology, which is essentially viscosity, and particle size. For example, one common issue we see is cream phase separation. This can happen due to improper emulsification temperature during manufacturing. Recognizing and controlling these factors during process transfer is vital to ensure product stability and quality. So overall, the goal of AMT and process transfer considerations is to maintain product consistency and quality as we scale up or move production across different sites. Now, let's talk about the key validation and regulatory expectations we need to keep in mind. First, process validation, often through PV batches, is essential to ensure our manufacturing process consistently produces quality product. Then, there's cleaning validation, which confirms that our cleaning procedures effectively prevent cross-contamination. Hold time studies are also critical. They help us understand how long a product remains within specified limits before it might degrade or become unsafe. And of course, stability studies are vital to determine the shelf life and proper storage conditions for our product. From a regulatory standpoint, it's crucial that we maintain quality, safety, and efficacy even after the transfer process. This means adhering to all validation protocols and demonstrating that our processes remain robust and compliant throughout the product lifecycle. Ensuring these aspects are thoroughly validated and documented helps us meet regulatory expectations and ultimately deliver safe, effective products to patients. Now, let's turn our attention to risk management and the challenges we face. When approaching quality and safety, we often rely on a risk-based approach, as outlined in ICH Q9. This means we're systematically identifying and controlling potential risks throughout our processes to ensure consistent product quality. Of course, there are common challenges that can arise. For example, equipment differences can impact how processes perform from one batch to another. Scale-up issues are also a concern, as what works in small-scale labs doesn't always translate smoothly to full production. And raw material variability can introduce unpredictability, making it harder to maintain consistent quality. To address these challenges, we use strategies like design of experiments, or Dewey. This helps us understand how different variables interact and influence our outcomes, enabling more robust process development. Additionally, having a robust control strategy is key. It involves setting up controls and monitoring points that can quickly detect and correct deviations, ensuring our process remains stable and our product stays within specifications. Ultimately, by integrating these risk management tools and strategies, we can better navigate the complexities of manufacturing, ensuring safety, quality, and efficiency throughout the process. So, to wrap things up, I want to emphasize that TT, or technology transfer, is absolutely critical for effective lifecycle management. It's not just a one-time handoff. It's a continuous process that ensures the product stays consistent and compliant throughout its life cycle. To succeed in this, strong documentation is essential. Clear, detailed records help everyone understand the process and maintain quality standards. Cross-functional coordination is equally important, bringing together R&D, manufacturing, quality, and regulatory teams ensures that all aspects are aligned and working toward the same goal. Regulatory compliance is a key piece of the puzzle, as it guarantees that our product meets all required standards across different regions and markets. When we get all these elements right, success looks like reproducible product quality across all sites. That means no matter where the product is made, it maintains the same high standards, which is ultimately what we all want. So, in summary, focusing on these core areas, solid documentation, teamwork across functions, and strict adherence to regulations, really underpins effective lifecycle management and helps us deliver consistent, high-quality products. For further support, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to help you with any questions or additional assistance you might need. Feel free to contact us through the provided channels. And finally, I want to thank you all for your time and attention today. It's been a pleasure sharing this information with you, and I look forward to connecting again soon.